everyone and welcome back to AustinPlus, where today we are talking about Avengers Doomsday once again. We are talking more specifically about the Wakandans, or the Black Panthers, in this movie, because the Wakandans have become one of the most important forces in the MCU right now. From technological genius of Shuri to the strength of the Dora Milaje, Wakanda has repeatedly proven that it can stand alone against the world's greatest heroes. But with Avengers Doomsday bringing together an enormous number of characters and introducing Doctor Doom as one of the MCU's greatest threats, the question is, what role will Wakanda play in this very conflict? Will the Wakandans become a major force against Doom or not? Yeah, so today we are talking about what might happen to the Wakandans in Avengers Doomsday. Obviously, we covered the Avengers, we covered the Fantastic Four, we covered, the X-Men as well. So today we are covering the Wakandans, and I think we should just get right into it. I mean, the Wakandans' position in the MCU right now, if we're talking about since the events of Black Panther, Wakanda has transformed from a secretive nation into a major, global power. The country now has advanced technology, a powerful military, and really leadership willing to engage with the rest of the world. However, Wakanda is also still recovering from the loss of King T'Challa and the events that have actually followed. Now, under Shuri's leadership, the nation has entered a new era, and in Avengers Doomsday, this could be perfect opportunity to show what Wakanda looks like when it's forced to confront threats that go far beyond the Earth, such as Doom. Now, we also have to talk about how they have made quite an alliance with the Talakans, or the fish people, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. But Shuri's role in this movie, I think, might be a bit more important than we're letting on, than they're letting on. A lot of people think she will be a very minimal character because they're not trying to overdo her Black Panther because we've got a new one. But the most obvious Wakandan character to watch will be obviously Shuri. As the current Black Panther, she represents both the future of the Wakanda and the legacy of her brother. In the conflict against Doctor Doom, Shuri could find herself facing an enemy who combines advanced technology, political power, and obviously mystical abilities. That combination could make Doom particularly dangerous to Wakanda. Now, Shuri may therefore have to step beyond simply defending her country and become the key leaders of the MCU in this film, and obviously just fight against Doom. I think she'll be a part of that leadership. Obviously, we see in most of the trailers that she is in an alliance with the Invisible Woman, and I think that's where that leadership, because as much as Reed Richards is there, he's not really level-headed. Sue is, so I think that's where that leadership comes together, and we don't know in that point in the very trailer if they've met the other Avengers yet, but I think that's what Shuri's role will really connect to. Now, could Doctor Doom target Wakanda specifically? There is an absolute possibility that is the case. I mean, as much as it's not really something we see in trailers or the story or the premise we've been given, that is absolutely the case. It was a speculation not too long ago. As I said, there's a possibility that Wakanda could become one of Doom's primary targets, but I don't know if they'd want to repeat the Infinity War, which the final battle took place in Wakanda. Wakanda possesses resources and technology that could be extremely valuable to someone like Victor Von Doom, but its connection to vibranium alone makes it strategically important, while its scientific advancements could potentially rival, even surpass those many others, survives many other nations. If Doom wants to establish control over the world, neutralizing Wakanda or taking its resources from himself could be one of his most important objectives. You could have a scene where he does go to Wakanda and tries to befriend Shuri, because that's one of the key themes we're getting from this. He could try and do that, but I don't know if he would, is the only thing that I would say. I don't know if he would, but I don't know if they would want to repeat the the Infinity War. I think this is mainly going to be set in the X-Men universe, and they're going to travel to different ones. Wakanda obviously will make an appearance, but I don't know if Doom will be there, actually. However, I do think it would be a valuable thing to do, obviously for the likes of Doctor Doom, but we don't know what state of power he's in. And it's from the trailers, he has a fuck ton of power, so I'm assuming maybe Wakandan vibranium is not his biggest concern right now. However, I'm not saying vibranium isn't important at all. Vibranium could be a very major factor in the story, because Wakandan's most valuable resource has already been a center of international conflict, and Doom could have his own reasons for wanting access to it. Whether he needs it for weapons, technology, or some larger plan, Wakandan's control over vibranium could make the nation impossible for him to ignore. Now, this could force Shuri to make difficult decisions about whether Wakanda should protect its resources, share them with its allies, or use them to fight Doom directly. I do think vibranium is something that he might try and get his hands on. We don't know what his mask's made out of, so he might have got it from vibranium, or he might have made it himself, because we obviously know he is a master mechanic, and he's a genius, but he's also a magician. Well, strange magician, if you get what I mean. I think vibranium might be a cool bargaining chip. You could maybe say that, like, I want your resources, I want your thing, but I don't know if resources and power is what he's looking for. I think he wants vengeance, and I think that's why this is such a, like, the Wakandans, I don't think they'll play a very big role in this, which is fascinating if I'm being very honest. I mean, the Black Panther trilogy or the Black Panther movies haven't had much spotlight or continuation, and to stick them in a movie of this capacity, it's a bit odd to me. Now, as I said, the Namor and the Talokan, I think, could be very interesting and could be a good gateway for people for like their future in the MCU. Another major factor could be the relationship between Wakanda and Talokan. Now, in the very trailer, we see that the Wakanda suit, or the Black Panther suit that Shuri wears, does have some teal accents, which I think is the Talokan, like, ore or like material. So I think there is an alliance there. Now, after the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Shuri and Namor reached an uneasy understanding between two nations that remained fundamentally different. If Avengers Doomsday threatens their entire planet, however, their shared interests could bring them together once again. Now, Namor may not become a traditional Avenger, but an alliance between Wakanda and Talokan could create one of the most powerful forces on Earth, and give Doom a very somewhat annoying obstacle. Because as much as it's powerful, I don't know where he's at with, like, swimming. Yeah, I think this is the biggest thing. Now, last question, I do this obviously, could there be a major loss specifically in the Wakandans? I think there is a big possibility that Wakanda could suffer a major defeat, and more specifically, I would say Shuri might die. Avengers Doomsday is expected to feature extremely high stakes, and Doctor Doom is a kind of villain who could permanently change the MCU. If the filmmakers want to establish Doom as a truly dangerous threat, Wakanda could be one of the places where his power is demonstrated. That doesn't necessarily mean the deconstruction of the nation, but Wakanda could be forced to endure a devastating loss that changes its role in the MCU forever. I do think Shuri might die, because if they're giving the Black Panther reins to a new person, that means that someone has to pass it. So I think that might be Shuri. But I'm just spitballing here. The most likely outcome is that they will play a larger role than simply just supporting the Avengers that we know of now. But as much as that's what it looks like, I do think they might have a tiny bit more to do with it. Shuri could become one of the film's central heroes, and the Dora Milaje and Wakandan military could join the global fight, and Wakanda's technology and vibranium could make the nation a major target as well. The relationship between Wakanda and Talokan could also become crucial, potentially creating an alliance powerful enough to challenge Doom's ambitions. But the biggest question is whether Wakanda emerges from this conflict stronger, or just fundamentally changed, or maybe in a different state afterwards. Whatever happens, Avengers Doomsday could mark the beginning of a new chapter for Wakanda, now with Shuri and her people facing a threat unlike anything they've ever encountered before. But without further ado, folks, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see on the channel. But I hope you have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Yeah.